This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. A missile that killed 2 people in Poland was unlikely to have been fired from Russia, US President Joe Biden said on Wednesday, after the blast raised global alarm that the Ukraine conflict could spill into neighboring countries. NATO ambassadors were due to hold an emergency meeting on Wednesday to respond to the explosion at a grain dryer near the Ukrainian border, which occurred while Russia was firing scores of missiles at cities across Ukraine. Kiev says it shot down most of the incoming Russian missiles with its own air defense missiles. Ukraine's Volyn region, just across the border from Poland, was one of the many it says was targeted by Russia's attacks. The Polish Foreign Ministry said the rocket fell on Przewodo, a village about 6 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. Polish President Andrzej Duda told reporters that it was, in quote, most likely a Russian-made missile, but that there was no concrete evidence of who fired it. Both Russia's long-range missiles and the air defense missiles that Ukraine fired to shoot them down are Russian-made. Asked whether it was too early to say if the missile was fired by Russia, Biden said, in quote, "There is preliminary information that contests that. I don't want to say that until we completely investigate it, but it is unlikely in the lines of the trajectory that it was fired from Russia, but we will see." End of quote. An oil tanker associated with an Israeli billionaire has been struck by a bomb-carrying drone off the coast of Oman amid heightened tensions with Iran, an official has told newsmen. The attack happened on Tuesday night off the coast of Oman, the Middle East-based defense official said. The official spoke on Wednesday on condition of anonymity, as they did not have authorization to discuss the attack publicly. The United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations, a British military organization in the region monitoring shipping, told newsmen, in quote, "We are aware of an incident and it is being investigated at this time." The official identified the vessel attacked as the Liberian-flagged oil tanker Pacific Zircon. That tanker is operated by Singapore-based Eastern Pacific Shipping, which is a company ultimately owned by Israeli billionaire Edan Ofer. In a statement, Eastern Pacific Shipping said the Pacific Zircon, carrying gas oil, had been hit by a projectile some 150 miles off the coast of Oman. A call to the Israeli embassy in Abu Dhabi was not answered. Israel's Prime Minister's office and its defense ministry declined to comment. At least 6 policemen have been killed in an ambush as they patrolled in a vehicle in Pakistan's northwest province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa in one of the deadliest attacks in months. Local officials told pressmen the incident took place on Wednesday morning when their vehicle was fired upon in the city of Laki Marwat, about 200 kilometers from the provincial capital of Peshawar. Police said there were no security cameras installed in the area where the incident took place. An investigation has been launched. In a statement, the banned armed group Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), also known as the Pakistani Taliban, claimed responsibility for the attack, adding that its attackers made it back to safe havens. The Pakistani Taliban, allied with the Afghan Taliban, has been waging an armed rebellion in Pakistan for more than a decade, calling for the stricter enforcement of Islamic laws, the release of their members from government custody, and a reduced Pakistani military presence in tribal-dominated regions. In May this year, the group extended an indefinite ceasefire agreement with Islamabad, with the talks brokered by the Taliban government in Kabul, but attacks by the Pakistani Taliban have not stopped, mainly in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. In a statement, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's office condemned the latest attack, calling the police a vanguard against terrorism. NASA's new moon rocket has blasted off on its debut flight with 3 test dummies on board, bringing the United States a big step closer to putting astronauts back on the lunar surface for the first time since the end of the Apollo program 50 years ago. If all goes well during the 3-week make-or-break shakedown flight, the 32-story tall rocket will propel an empty crew capsule into a wide orbit around the moon, and then the capsule will return to Earth with a splashdown in the Pacific in December. The launch marked the start of the space agency's new flagship program, Artemis. In quote, "We are going," tweeted the space agency early on Wednesday. After years of delays and billions in cost overruns, the Space Launch System rocket thundered skyward, rising from Kennedy Space Center on 4 million kilograms of thrust and hitting 160 kilometers per hour within seconds. The Orion capsule was perched on top, ready to burst out of Earth's orbit towards the moon. Not quite 2 hours into the flight, the moonshot follows nearly 3 months of vexing fuel leaks that kept the rocket bouncing between its hangar and the pad. The American Space Agency managed to plug a leak late on Tuesday night while fueling the rocket for the middle of the night launch. Surging household energy bills and food prices pushed British inflation to a 41-year high, according to data published a day before Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt announces tax hikes and spending cuts to control price growth. Consumer prices rose 11.1% in the 12 months to October, the most since October 1981, and a big jump from 10.1% in September, the Office for National Statistics said on Wednesday. Economists polled by newsmen had forecast the inflation would rise to 10.7%. Inflation would have risen to around 13.8% in October had the government not intervened to limit the price of household energy bills to £2,500 a year on average, the ONS said. In response to the data, Hunt, who is due to outline a new budget on Thursday, said, in quote, "Tough but necessary decisions were required to tackle rising prices. It is our duty to help the Bank of England in their mission to return inflation to target by acting responsibly with the nation's finances," he said in a statement. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy midweek.